Hi, welcome to my next video. In this one, we're going to be training the lower body and core. First, we start off with our heavy compound quad movements, and then we go into an isolation quad exercise. That's followed by a hamstring exercise, and then from there we go on to the smaller muscle groups in order of importance. I'm back into my warm-up, so I do at least a 3-minute warm-up at 20 to 30% intensity there, just to get that blood flowing. Anytime you approach a workout, you have to make sure that you have a plan in place before you actually enter the gym to make sure that you're targeting your weaker muscle groups and you're not neglecting any muscular imbalances or anything like that. Big thing with leg training is knee health. Many people have issues with their knees. I think the 3 most common injuries in weight training is shoulder injuries, lower back, and knees. You want to make sure that we're training the knees or the hamstrings in a full range of motion. You want to pay particular attention to isolation movements. Try and avoid things like the reverse sled, because they don't take the hamstrings through a full range, and you will never ever build the same amount of strength as you would in an isolation movement. For example, a seated leg curl machine would greatly reduce your risk of injuring your knees. Pairing that with your seated calf raises, and depending on any other issues that you may or may not have, your tibialis is another area where you could work out. When you're doing your leg extensions, you want to make sure that you're completing the last 20 or 10 degrees of the movement, so that lockout phase, that's really important for knee health as well. First exercise for my leg session today is going to be on leg press. A few different ways you can set this up depending on your anatomy, so how tall you are usually matters, and the length of your femur bone. So when we're doing this exercise, I tend to have the seat right all the way back. This will increase your range of motion, allow you to put your knees a bit further back, a bit deeper into that push there. You want to make sure that your lower back isn't lifting off the seat when you're doing that one. So pull down into the movement, starting off by placing our feet about shoulder width apart and pointing the toes about 20 degrees outwards. Now that's the same direction as your hips. Everyone's going to have a different hip angle, so whatever feels natural for yourself, go for that angle there. This is going to be my warm-up, so we're going for 12 easy reps here. With the warm-up set, I usually go a little slower, a little more controlled with that one, just to increase the blood flow into those knees there. I'm pulling myself down. And one more rep. And resting that one. Second set on the leg press. If you do have any knee issues with this exercise, do not use any knee straps or any knee sleeves. Go as low as you can with the weight and build your strength up from the lowest point onwards. I find if you do keep using those knee wraps, it's just going to mask your symptoms and you're never going to fix the root cause of your issues there. So straight into my movement here. And we're going for 10 reps here. So pulling down. Two more. Nice. Okay, I'm on to exercise number 2. If your gym has one of these machines, give this a shot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a leg extension lying back, and what that allows me to do is fully lengthen the quadricep muscle and build some really amazing details in those legs there as well. So this is pretty similar to if you're doing that leaning back technique as well, you're going to achieve the same thing. 12 reps. And the most important thing of this exercise is that big stretch at the bottom. Stretch, push, stretch, drive, stretch. We're up to set number 2 on the leg extension. Now, a common thing I see a lot of people do when they train, the mistake they make is that the speed of the whole set starts to decrease slowly, where it becomes an absolute grind. Now, the consistency of the velocity matters. You don't want to decrease the speed. If you do decrease the speed too much, it might be advantageous to do a pause rep and then pump out more fast sets there. You might get a bit more reps out. I'm aiming for 10 here. Big stretch. Good, good. Now, if you're doing this exercise, make sure that you stop immediately if you feel anything in the lower back there. Onto our third exercise. On this one here, we're doing the leg curl machine. This one really isolates the hammies, puts them in a really great position to build them. Make sure you're having the seat adjusted correctly so that you can go through the full range of motion. This exercise should be stretched as much as you can at the top here. Now on this machine here, we've got the handles down here, but if you hold them here, that will prevent you from slipping forwards. So off we go. What I'm doing here is I'm making sure my toes are pointed upwards, my knees are pointed upwards. If at any time my toes turn outwards, that means my glutes will start taking over. I'm getting a big stretch at the top and driving down. I'm up to set number 2. This is going to be my working set. So today I'm only doing 2 sets per exercise with 1 minute rest in between as well there. Let's go. I'm on to my 4th exercise now. I'm doing some calf raises on a leg press. So with this exercise here, it's all about lengthening the calves, getting rid of any elasticity left in the muscles, and driving from a stretch. Stretch, drive, 3, stretch. We want to take out the momentum as much as possible. Make sure we're targeting the correct muscle groups, that they're engaging, feeling that stretch. And like all our other exercises, we start off with our warm-up, making sure that our ankles and our tendons are feeling okay. It's my 2nd set on the leg press, doing my calf raises. So I've upped the weight a little bit, unrack, find that stretch, push from the stretch. So what I focused on in that one was locking those knees out completely, taking away any momentum or any elasticity left in the muscles, and just driving with the target group there, isolating as much as possible. Also, I'm keeping my knees in alignment with my toes as well. My 5th exercise for today is the seated calf raise machine. If you want good calves, you'll need to do both standing and seated calf raises. This will hit the soleus, so that's the muscle group on the side of the calf there, really pushes it out. What we're doing with this exercise is focusing on actually getting the right position. A lot of people set this up incorrectly, this exercise. So what you want to do with this machine in particular, you want to actually start off in the bottom. Once you're in this bottom position, then adjust your toes, make sure you're in that correct position, make sure everything's in alignment. And with control, driving the knees. Now you want to use these handles, I'll just adjust here. You want to use these handles to pull backwards. You want to rock back with this movement. That will help you really zone in and target those muscles. On to set number 2. This is my first working set for the seated calf raises. So I'm going to have my arms locked in place again. I've checked my foot positioning and I'm ready to go. Nice. We're on to our first exercise for core. On this one here, we're targeting a hip flexor, which is the lower abdominal muscle. What we're going to do here is leg raises with a bent knee as well. So lock it in, and away we go. You want to try and get your feet as high as possible. But the idea is not to actually flex the spine. We're on to set number 2 for the hip flexors. Just want to pump out 12 reps. Let's go. A common thing I see when people doing this one is that they use too much momentum. They're not controlling the weight down. And they swing too much. Second last exercise for today's session, we're doing the ab machine. On this one here, you want to make sure that your feet are locked in and you push your glutes all the way back. Make sure that your lower back doesn't come off the padding. And let's go. Now the range of motion is quite small. You don't want to actually allow that lower back to come off the pad. And we're focusing on stacking the abs on top of each other. Last exercise, we're doing Russian twists on an incline. So this is really going to target your obliques here. And let's go. You want to make sure that you don't pull with your neck when you're doing any abdominal exercises. Having a strong core will also enable you to have a strong lower back. And that's it.